so with that being said, we want to make sure that you understand when I say we're international speakers, this is me speaking in front of thousands of people down at a large church in Georgia. And let me go back to sharing the play piece, okay? This is me speaking in front of a large a congregation in Georgia. And so when I tell you that this is what I do, you can see here that that's what that is. I also say that I am a Maxwell certified coach and teacher. And this is one of the programs that we offer in leadership under the teachings of John Maxwell, who is a coach and mentor. I've been with him for about 10 years. And so once again, as an author, you all, an established published author, this is me at a book signing at an event that we also did on leadership and maximizing your potential. And so it's just, I show you these things to establish the credibility, because you want to make sure that whoever it is that is leading you, coaching you, mentoring you, that they are in fact living the lifestyle that they're doing. So when we talk about mindset, ladies and gentlemen, mindset for success equals an A. That simply means, you all, that you have to have a mindset reset if you want to get the highest grade possible. And sometimes it takes us to reset that mind. And this is why we do a lot of mindset teaching, mindset coaching. We also do a state of mind that's different from mindset. And I'll be talking more about that shortly. But here's a quote by Napoleon Hill. He says, truly thoughts are things, and powerful things at that. When they are mixed with definiteness of purpose, persistence, and burning desire for their translation into riches or other material objects. Now, what does that really mean? Basically, you all, what you can conceive in your mind, if your mindset, which is a growth mindset, not a fixed mindset, if you can conceive these thoughts in your mind, they are very powerful because they press down. And when you add a definiteness of purpose, persistence, and a burning desire, you translate them into riches. You translate them into the objects of your goals. And it is very important that we realize that. So now, in order to go through this process, thoughts are things. I want to break this down so that we really get into it. Thoughts. What are thoughts, you all? The definition of thoughts is the process of your thinking. So I want you to take a moment to think about and to focus on, how do you think on a regular basis going throughout your day? If you're on a high-powered job, a high-paced job, then your process of thinking, how do you break things down? How do you rationalize your objectives and things of that nature? It is very important to pay attention, because sometimes your process of thinking can slow you down. But if you have a process of thinking, whereas you read things, you learn things, and you process them quickly, you can make better decisions. So when it comes to the thinking portion, to think means to have an opinion, a belief, or idea about someone or something. Sometimes you have your children, if you have children, they say, well, mom, dad, what do you think about me doing this? Or what do you think about that? They're basically asking you for your opinion. What type of opinion do you have that is that you can help me with what I'm getting ready to do? And that has a lot to do with your belief system, ladies and gentlemen. If you believe that, playing sports is good for your overall discipline and learning how to do that, then your belief and opinion is to put your children in some type of extracurricular activity to play sports. If you think that reading a book a day sharpens your mind, then guess what? You're going to be an avid reader. I have hundreds of books over here on my bookshelves because I believe that to train your mind, to train you how to think, to train you how to go through the process of thinking, which is formulating your opinion and belief, you need to read. And you don't only read to yourself, but you read out loud. So now, when you talk about a thing, what is a thing? A thing, ladies and gentlemen, is an object that one cannot, or does not wish to give a specific name to. So it is a thing. Now, when we say thoughts are things, and you put all of these together, you all, they then manifest and turn into what you want. So think about that. The process of you getting to a place of success causes you to think about the level or place that you want to be. And then that becomes the object of your focus. It's a very beautiful concept once you put it all together and learn how to think on this frequency in a certain way. So 3 skills you must master. I want you to understand that success mindset, if you will, it is a skill. And if you want to gain momentum in any area of your life, you want to learn these 3 skill sets. The first skill set is, how do you make purpose definite? In other words, how do you come up with a definiteness of purpose? Well, the definition of this whole phrase is a clearly defined motive and or intention. So think about it like this. When you set your mind on something and you set that goal, preferably an A-type goal versus a C-type goal. And I'll get into more on that when I do the lesson on goal setting. But an A-type goal is something that's going to stretch you. When you set your mind on this goal, you want to make that goal so clear, so defined down to the T, you all talk about the minute detail, that it can become so definite that if anybody were to pick it up and read it, they can see where you're going, what you want to do, and how you plan to achieve it. That is a definiteness of purpose. It is clearly defined. You got to have a motive. If you want to have momentum and you want to master momentum, you have to have purpose. And that purpose has to be definite, which means it has to be clearly defined. You got to have the motive. Why are you doing what you're called to do? Why are you doing what you're wanting to do, ladies and gentlemen? That is so important, that once you take the time to really sit and think about it. Now, I want you to understand that this is an exercise that you're not going to do quickly. You want to take your time when coming up with your definiteness of purpose as to why you're doing what you're doing. A business plan is a document that speaks volumes about your definiteness of purpose and where you want to go in life. So if success is your aim, if your goal is to become a millionaire, then you want to have definiteness of purpose. And that leads us to the next one, which is persistence. So once you have your goal, that A-type goal, that stretching goal, and you have a purpose in front of you, then you want to add this term to it, this skill set of persistence. Now, persistence is a firm or obstinate continuance in a course of action in spite of difficulty or opposition. Now, let us spend some time with this. To have a firm continuance, a definiteness of purpose means I'm going to continue in this course of action. Ladies and gentlemen, persistence is the key ingredient to massive results. And to gain momentum, you have to be persistent. In one of my books, I wrote that momentum begins at the end of a completed task or goal. Because every time you complete a task or goal, every time you operate in the mastery of the skill set of persistence, you then gain the momentum. And I'm going to share more about what momentum is. But for now, I just want you to focus on what? Focus on a definiteness of purpose. Focus on becoming persistent so that you can get the optimal results, okay? So then, whatever course of action that you take time to delve into, in spite of what happens, you all, you have to have such a laser sharp focus. This is why your definiteness of purpose is important, because sometimes things will happen. We call them pitfalls. We call them setbacks. Inside of your definite purpose, you will write what we call a contingency plan. A contingency plan is basically, what will you do if things don't go according to plan? Will you just give up on your dreams? Will you just give up on your goal to become a millionaire or whatever that may be? No, you do not. You take a step back, you recalibrate, and you go forward in the course of action in spite of the difficulty or opposition. All right. Life is filled with many people who got knocked down. Many inventions and creators had to experience difficulty or opposition before what they intended to create really came to fruition. So persistence is your friend. If you're taking notes, I want you to write that down. Persistence is my friend. Persistence is the friend of momentum. You want to develop this skill set so that you can really develop the mindset to keep going, the fortitude to keep going, the grit, if you really want to become successful. Now, here's another piece, you all, that I love. I really embody this right here. As a matter of fact, I'll share a story with you. When I first started writing some of these courses in the beginning of 2023, I'm as I am now, I was doing all this in the height of a lot of pain because I had an infection in my knees and I could not walk. Well, I'm back walking now, but I can't walk for certain periods of distance, long periods of distance as of yet, but I'm getting stronger every day. But because of my burning desire to get this information out, I began to study the mind like never before. I realized that I had to will myself back to health. Went to the doctors, they couldn't understand, I didn't need knee surgery, but over the course of time, I knew I would heal. But it was a lot of mental toughness that I had to endure. So burning desire, you all, is a very hot and intense feeling of wanting to have something or wishing for something to happen. I desire to walk into a space, walk into my new home. I desire to get up out of this wheelchair, but it took a process. And in the process is when you face opposition. Some days I couldn't move like I wanted to move. And it's frustrating when you're used to moving, used to doing something, and you can't. But because of what? A definiteness of purpose, a level of persistence in terms of mastery, and a burning desire, I'm now able to walk at least throughout the whole home. And I'm back on the bike, I'm back exercising and working out. But when it gets to a point to where I have to rest, then I do that. But all of that happened because of burning desire. I'm here to tell you all today that the level of success, in order to complete that A-type goal, you've got to master this skill set as well, called a burning desire. It is your friend. Now, I want you to know that a mindset shift is a made-up mind. Here's a story from one of the books that we read, you all, that we suggest. If you don't have it, I strongly suggest you get it, called Think and Grow Rich. But this particular story, you all, I'm going to read it to you. It's also here on the screen. And I want you to notice something. So here it is, and I quote, "My service as a member of Congress have given me an insight into the problems of men and women. I am writing to offer suggestions which may become helpful to thousands of worthy people. In 1922, you delivered the commencement address at Salem College when I was a member of the graduating class. In that address, you planted in my mind an idea which has been responsible for the opportunity I now have to serve the people of my state, and will be responsible in a very large measure for whatever success I may have in the future. I recall, as though it were yesterday, the marvelous description you gave of the method by which Henry Ford, with but little schooling, without a dollar, with no influential friends, rose to great heights." Watch this, you all. He says, "I made up my mind then, even before you had finished your speech, that I would have a place for myself no matter how many difficulties I had to surmount." Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to understand that is a made-up mind. That is the premier example of what was going to happen. You all excuse me. I don't know why they want to do that now that I'm doing this, but it's okay. I want you to understand that he was at a speech. So the context of this was Mr. Napoleon Hill was years ago. And this is an example out of the book, Think and Grow Rich. Okay, this is not my own, just to put that out there because we don't want to be flagged for plagiarizing nothing. But I want you to understand that this was a young man. This was a story inside the book that Napoleon Hill decided to share with us about a made-up mind. He says, before you gave this speech, you planted some things. He planted an idea. I want you to understand today that I'm planting an idea in your mind that you can have a made-up mind as to do whatever you want to do to master momentum so that you can achieve the levels of success. Ladies and gentlemen, a mindset shift is what sometimes has to happen. You've got to make that decision, make up your mind that no matter what happens, no matter what difficulty, no matter what opposition comes at you, you have to make up your mind that the goal that you want, whatever you want to achieve, is going to happen. I quote once again, he says, "I made up my mind then, even before you finished your speech." Hey, listen, I want to suggest that some of you need to make up your mind right now, even before I get done with this event, that you're going to move into greater heights. You're going to operate and learn these 3 skill sets. You're going to operate and get into a place where you're going to master these skill sets so that you can take your life to that next level. And that's what we're here to do. And so I want you to please write that down, make a note of it, even take a screenshot if you will. A mindset shift, you all. To shift your mindset, your belief system, how you perceive things, how you view in yourself even, has to become a made-up mind. My mind is made up that I will be a 6-figure income earner. If that's you, you take that. Your mind has to be made up about your goal. I will have that new house. I will experience what it takes to develop programs and develop online business so that I can, increase my bottom line. Whatever it is that you set out to do, ladies and gentlemen, I need you to know that you have to make up your mind. A made-up mind is a mindset shift. The book goes on to say that thousands of people in today's world who would like to know how they can convert ideas into money starts with having this type of exposure, this type of teaching, this type of practical encouragement that this young man received from Napoleon Hill way back when. That the same thing that I'm exposing you to now, that I'm sharing with you now, these three these three skill sets, if mastered and applied properly, you can go on to achieve great heights, but you have to be willing to go through this process. So now, the success you're looking for is going to happen during the process. It's going to happen during the process of your growing, because growing is a constant repetition of motion. That speaks to momentum. And once I break down the definition, you're going to really understand what that is. So let's look at this for a moment. The success you're looking for, many times people try to sidestep the process. They want it microwave fast, okay? Want it now, quick and without any pain, without any exertion of energy. Y'all, that's not how success works. Building wealth, creating wealth, achieving your goal, whatever that may be, it takes a process. And once you learn the process, you grow in that, because growth is a constant repetition of motion. So it's like this, an A-type goal, that goal that stretches you, that goal that almost scares you, y'all. It has to be broken down into small, achievable action items. I'm going to talk about massive action and taking action in just a moment, but I want you to understand something, that the level of success you're looking for, you have to develop your plan of action, which is in essence a process. The byproduct of that is you're going to grow in the things that you're moving toward, because you're doing them over and over. This is why, even with this video, when it gets done, I'm videoing it, I'm recording it so that I can put it up for you all, so that you can go back and look at it over and over and over again. Why? Because this is how you change your paradigm. This is how you change the reprogramming, through repetition and mentorship. So in essence, I'm coaching you, I'm mentoring you rather, through a system called mastering momentum. This is how you master your momentum. The first thing is mastering your mindset. And it's very important to understand that. So now, the second portion of the piece that I want to give you today is self-image. Now, self-image is the next most important concept that we have to tackle in terms of gaining momentum, because it depends on how you see yourself. In the picture on the screen, I'm a chess player, and you think about a pawn. Many people don't have strategies to use pawns, but I'm going to tell you now, a pawn in the hands of the right leader can turn into a king and win the game. So as it relates to self-image, how you see yourself dictates the level of momentum that you have on your way to success. I'm going to say that again. How you see yourself, do you have a winner's image or a loser's image? How you see yourself is important, because it dictates the level of success that you're going to go to. So your entire life evolves around images. Think about this. Just as every company has a corporate image, every individual also has their own self-image. When you wake up in the morning, and you look in the mirror, are you comfortable in your own skin? If not, if there's some things you want to change, you have to change, then make those some type of your action items to your small goals. Get persistent, get the whole three-step process in terms of having the discipline do that so that you can change your self-image, add to your self-image. Right now, we're in a 30-day challenge to lose half a pound a day. That means we're going to do 15 pounds within 30 days. That's because we understand we have to add to our image. I feel better when I'm comfortable with my weight and my size. I feel better. You probably feel better when you can put that nice dress on, or that nice suit on, or that nice outfit, and it boosts your self-confidence. I made up a word. Your self-confidence. It's your image, ladies and gentlemen. And image plays a very, very important role. Now, here's the thing. Science and psychology have isolated the one prime cause for success or failure in life. It is the hidden self-image that you have of yourself. Now, many people have never heard this, why you should meditate, why you should take time to develop your consciousness on this image, on this concept. But listen, you all, science and psychology, two most important branches of philosophy, have isolated the one prime cause for success or failure. So that means now how you see yourself, you all. If you see yourself in a winner's circle, then you give yourself the ability to actually be in the winner's circle. But if you see yourself as a loser, if you see yourself because you're comparing yourself to other people, then you see yourself in that loser circle, and that's what will end up happening. Now, I could go way deep with this and tell you about the law of attraction and the law of vibration, the law of compensation. I'm not going to get into that right now, but what I want you to understand is that many times we attract to us what we see, because what we see affects our belief system. That belief system is that paradigm, and it controls your body and your actions. It's the subconscious, ladies and gentlemen. So the prime cause for success is the hidden self-image. That is the image that no one sees but you. So watch. Have you ever seen a person who went on to achieve great things, but by looking at them, you didn't believe that they had the ability to achieve that? I'll give you an example. In basketball, I'm an avid sports fan. There used to be a player by the name of Spud Webb years ago, it was like 5 feet something, y'all. And Spud Webb could dunk the ball with the 6'2", 6'7" guys. By looking at him, it doesn't look like he could jump that high. But over the time, over the process, he developed the strength, the muscles, the ability to jump high enough to dunk that ball. I'm talking to you all today that it is the self-image that gives you the motivation and momentum. You see, if he ran far enough and got up enough momentum, strengthened his legs to handle the momentum of movement, he was able to jump and dunk that ball. Now, I'm wondering today if there are any of you all who realize that to get to that place, to get to the level where you want to create a better life in terms of however that life is that you want to live, you got to develop the momentum of increasing your self-image. That's worth writing down. Develop the momentum. Many people don't know that momentum can help you with your self-image. In other words, small steps. Notice in my example, I said we're going to lose half a pound a day. Not a whole pound, but half a pound. That means we're not going to go on a strict diet, but we're going to start doing things and living life a certain way as to boost it up. And then once we do that, we'll be able to maintain this lifestyle. I want you all to understand, once again, that how you see yourself, the hidden self-image, how you see yourself is going to dictate how you live your life. And you want to have momentum in that area. So half a pound a day, half a pound a day. You might not feel it at first, but over a course of time, you'll notice that your clothes fit just a little better. You'll notice that you have a little more strength, because as you gain strength and you release the weight you are. You see, I had to learn a long time ago as my self-image. You don't lose weight because you can go back and find it, but you release it. You release it from your body. It is a mindset principle, y'all, to release the weight, to release the whatever it is, the unharboring of forgiveness, you all. See, I could go real deep, but I'm trying to stay focused, right? But you have to be able to develop your self-image and then gain momentum in maintaining that self-image, and you could see yourself in the winner's circle. So now, your success in any undertaking will never be greater than the image you have of yourself. I want to drive that home. On the screen, you see the shadow of possibility. You see a cat, but on the shadow, you see a lion. Now, just because other people can't see it, you can see it. You have to be able to see it. You need to understand that if you want to be successful and get the momentum to help you become successful in any undertaking, you have to have a mindset. I call it the principle of many. Let's put it like that. Many possibilities are afforded to you when you have a strong self-image of who you are and what you can do. And it's almost to the point where you want to make a commitment at increasing your self-image, adding to your self-image. So those of us who are on this challenge, you all, some of them understand that, hey, I feel better. Why? Because you increased your self-image. Hey, I feel better because I look better. Because I look better is giving me more confidence, and more confidence, you all, increases the value of who I am. It increases the value of who you are. That increases your self-image, because with a higher self-image, watch this, you all, a kitty cat can go do some things, but a lion can do great things. A lion become the king of the jungle. Translate, a lion, you can become the head of your organization, the CEO of a company. You can begin to move to high levels of leadership within that organization, which will in turn bring you higher levels of success, higher pay, if that's what it is. Ability to start your own business because you've learned some skill sets. Whatever it may be, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to understand that it starts with the self-image. Your self-image is so key and so important to where you're going to go in life. So now let me break this down. We have an image of the mind that was given to us by some of our mentors of old. I study a lot with Bob Proctor, with a study under Bob Proctor or whatnot, taking many of his programs. And this is one of the images that he was given by one of his mentors. His name slips me now, but I'll make sure I have that tomorrow. But I want you to look at this. Look at the top part of this image. You see where it says conscious mind. Then look at the bottom half of it. Let that represent your mind, the subconscious mind. So I want you to understand where self-image is situated. You have a conscious mind, which gives you the ability to receive information. Then you have a subconscious mind, which receives the information. The thing about the subconscious mind is that it cannot pick and choose what it receives from the conscious mind. So the conscious mind is the ability to get information, to research, to reason. And then you press it down. And that's your self-image. So whatever image you see, and you automatically give it to your subconscious mind is going to run with it. So if you give it a positive energy, it's going to press it down, it's going to get it into your body. And next thing you know, something is going to happen. So then with your body, you all, what happens? In this example, your self-image is pressed down and something takes place to get you your results. Okay? And so now self-image is the next most important concept when you tackle, because if it's pressed down into your body in the negative state, it's going to give you the wrong pieces. It's not going to, it's not going to give you the right things that you need. So for your body and the things that you're doing, you want to ask yourself, what exactly is this that I'm called to do? What do I have to do? What is this self-image that's on the screen, and how does it relate to the subconscious mind? It is very important that you realize that your self-image is sometimes given to you from, watch this you all, from a place that you're not focusing on. Once again, let me explain what I mean, y'all. Your self-conscious only can receive. Once it receives, it then goes into a certain thing, which means it goes into a management piece, if you will. It controls your body. So if you look at the bottom of that piece next to your body, self-image goes down to your body, how you view yourself, and it causes a vibration in your body that causes what? Your actions. So if you're looking at that, the blank in that, the A means actions. So your actions are directly connected to your self-image, because according to your self-image, it's your body. This is how you can change your mindset and shift your mindset, shift your paradigm, by strengthening your body, by releasing some of the weight and strengthening your muscles so that you can do more things. That's called action. Now, on the bottom of the action is control. So your actions control your, and the R stands for results. So blank number one is actions, blank number two is control, and the R stands for results. So you mean to tell me, let's put this all together, that my self-image that I get from my conscious mind that's put down to the area of the subconscious, and I get emotionally involved with this thing, involved with my self-image and how my hidden self-image. So it's not about what others see specifically, it's about how I feel. Your hidden self-image is about how you feel about yourself. Now that gets pressed down and it gets the vibration, and it affects your actions and control the level of results that you get. Very, very deep concept, you all, but there are ways to learn how to do this. So once again, science and psychology have isolated the one prime cause for success or failure in life. It is the hidden self-image that you have of yourself. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to do this right here. We're going to escape this. I'm going to stop the share, because at this point, I want you to understand how serious this is. There is a process that we have to go through if you want to master momentum. And so I've shared with you concepts on the mindset, how you shift your mindset, three skills that you want to master. I've shared with you and given you all the process, or the principle rather, about self-image, a hidden self-image. So these two things are the first things that you master when you're going into momentum. See, think about this, and I'm getting ready to wrap this up for today. Remember, we'll be back on tomorrow at the same time. But I want you to get this today. I want you to start operating in this, okay? And I have a homework assignment that I'm going to give you. and I'm going to post it inside the group, okay? And it is a commitment statement. Now, here's the thing. When you want to achieve high levels of success, and you have to change your paradigm, which is master your mindset, right? Your perspective, how you view things, your belief system. Many people, for example, who make $50,000 a year. The only reason they making $50,000 a year, you all, because they're not aware of how to make $50,000 a month. Many people who want to become into management, leadership, or who want high levels of success, you all, the only reason they're not achieving it is because they're not aware of how to achieve it. And we have things that we can help you with that. So for your homework tonight, I'm going to give you, and I'm going to post it inside the group. And I want you to take it serious, man, because it is your commitment. Okay. You could be in the habit of skipping over the detailed part of any projects. You could be one who assumes the details that are not important. But when you talk about increasing your momentum, you have to make a commitment. And so I'm going to put that there. And I want to challenge you all to make a commitment to learn how to master momentum. Take these first two concepts and meditate on them. Look at this. I'm going to, on the Facebook group, this is going to be posted here. We'll leave it up for, today is 31st, so we'll leave it up for a week or two so that you can go back and watch it again. And to those who are on YouTube, we'll do the same. We'll leave it up for a week or so you can really engage the material, really engage to help you start your way, okay? So with that being said, you all, we'll wrap this up. Those who haven't taken time on YouTube to go to the private group, you can do so. It's more information in that group, more things that we're posting. Those of you who are in the Facebook group, hey, you already know that we're going to be having more of these. We'll have a Q&A session as well, just for you guys that won't be up on YouTube. And this is just how we're giving back, okay? So enjoy the rest of your day. And remember, be positive on purpose, not by accident. And we'll see you next time.